Thanks for being here on time, and we'll start on time so that you can get the information you need and then get on to the cafeteria to meet some of our teachers and our students that are there to show off some clubs and things like that, some programs. I'm Betsy Bachman, principal here at Midtown, and we're very glad to have you here. This is a big treat. Not everybody gets to know the inner workings of the scheduling of Midtown, and Mr. Benson is going to share not all that he does, but he's going to share a little bit about how your students can choose classes and make the best decisions. But remember, like we've said before, this is their experience, not yours. You may wish you had been able to take engineering in your high school and things like that, but this is your child's experience. So please let them kind of work through it and read all the information that they will have. But also remember, choosing classes, making selections is not a contract. You're not buying something. By that I mean they're making selections, okay? So we base how many classes and how many teachers and everything on what students choose. And sometimes there are limits. You know, we can't have 45 in a class, so there are some limits. But we don't usually reach those limits till like May or June, so nobody has to worry about that. Take a day off from work or anything to do the pathways selection. So just know that it's not like a guarantee. It's not whatever you select, but we certainly try to get your kids into the classes that they want. So, okay. Well, without further ado, I will let Mr. Vincent come up. Willie Benson, assistant principal here at Midtown.
Actually,
Oh, no, it's Ms. Palacio. Sorry. You weren't on there. It wasn't like that.
good evening, everybody. So this is our final big informational meeting for you guys. So hopefully you do find it informative. Mr. Vincent is going to be the bulk of this event, so I'm going to just get to a couple of important things. As you can see, registration dates. They are listed up here. So if your student is currently in Atlanta Public Schools, anywhere in Atlanta Public Schools, your registration is March the 2nd through the 31st. And more information will be coming to you, but those are the dates. If you are coming from outside of APS, a private school in a different state, homeschool, then your registration will be May the 26th through June the 12th. And the reason, as I've explained before, but just to do it again, is so that we can get the final transcript from wherever your student currently is attending. Because we do need to see promotional status, and then if they did in fact earn any high school credit, that's a way for us to be able to see it on the transcript and schedule them appropriately, okay? So without further ado, I am going to turn it over to Mr. Vincent. I do want to, and I'll come back to this again, the pathway selection is part A. Part B is the registration. I need you to understand, if you don't do part B, part A doesn't matter. We have to have, it is Atlanta Public Schools policy. Every student that is rolling up for middle school, doesn't matter where you are, if you're at Howard, Centennial, Candace, one of our feeder schools, you must go through registration. Please do not put that off. Please don't delay. Get it done. Because again, you can do the pathways form all day long and have it done, but it's not going to matter if you don't register. So please do that, okay? All right, so without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to Mr. Willie Vincent.
All right, how many of you have sat through this with me before? Raise your hands. Okay. How many of you have already looked at the pathway form and that online website, right? I told them this crowd would have already done all that. But let me tell you what you are going to do tonight. You're going to act as if everything I'm saying you're hearing for the very first time. So I expect to hear some oohs, oh, that's incredible. I've never seen it. Will you do that for me? I'm just joking. I'm just giving her time to get set up. Okay, I am Willie Benson, assistant principal. Awesome. I didn't hear oohs and ahs. Oh, this is a smart crowd here. I'm going to like these ninth graders next year. All right. Now, think I'm ready. All right. APS did a number on us. They changed the website at the last minute. That's why you got that panicked information, because I'm like, you're not going to tell me how I'm going to communicate with these parents who are used to having real-time information. So we all went on strike because we were ready to do our own thing, get our own website. So APS finally sort of came and said, well, what you're doing is working for your community. It's a novel idea to let it work, right? So look right here under students. You're going to see a couple things under students. Now, what I do want you all to take time over the next few months, look at the AP Corner, because it's going to answer questions about what your students need going forward in high school. What will they need to have in place to take AP Chemistry if that's what they want? What subjects will they need? What grade point averages will they need? So take a moment to peruse the AP Corner. And I'm going to tell you something else about the AP Corner. Look at that next one. The catalog. Years ago, we had the traditional catalog that nobody ever updated. It was beautiful, though. Glossy pictures. All the subjects we no longer teach were listed. So we had this great idea to create a real-time catalog. And we're going to show you that in a minute. And I'm going to tell you why it's so important to have this. This lady sitting right here, Dr. Bachman, prides herself on driving me crazy. She'll call me in her office and she'll say, let's add this course right now with a real-time catalog. As fast as Dr. Bachman has a wild idea to add something, I then add it to the catalog with the criteria and all that, and then it's real-time. So that just sort of made the antiquated method of a paper catalog no longer necessary. Now go back to students, and I'm going to tell you what you already know. Those things I just described are not only in those places, they're in the Rising Ninth Grade website. Because what we do is we say, well, where might a person want to see this information? So it's in multiple places. So is it not opening for you? You can open it.
It's trying.
I know, it suddenly got slow tonight as I was getting ready to...
I wonder if maybe I have too many things open.
No, it's going to take a minute.
Okay.
I promise you, I just went through this in my office and I thought, what in the world? See, that's telling us we don't need to be in school Monday. That's what that message keeps telling us. And I want them to tell me if they're canceling school or not, because I've got hotels set up in Columbus, Albany, and Savannah. Just wherever the ice isn't is where I will be, okay? All right, just tell me, Superintendent. Okay, it's gonna take a minute, right? Yeah, it's gonna take a minute. You see, it's just, and I don't know why, it's their new website. But all in one, the first thing that you see when you open it, you're going to see the presentation from November. It's a YouTube presentation of when the coordinators, all the people from the various departments, language arts, math, were actually talking about what goes on in the department. We're talking about, there it is, see, there we are. The curriculum. This is the Rising Ninth Grade all-in-one website. Everything that we think you might need to know to get this journey rolling. So if you want to hear real details, and I learned a lot that night that I just didn't know, with like the new rollout of the ELA courses and some things with world languages. So take a moment if you've not watched it. Most of you were here because you're those high-achieving parents. So you were here and you've heard all that. But if you have not, take an opportunity. All right, so now, scroll down. Now, right there, in the middle. Now, what I'm gonna fuss at you all about, click on that, Ms. Palekia. Do you realize that nobody told me that that link was bad until a parent this morning said, Mr. Vincent, when I click on this, it won't. Now you all had clicked on that thing and you all knew. When were you gonna tell me that tell the truth? If you clicked on it and got something that says you couldn't access it. Going forward, this is a result of the website transformation with Atlanta. Have no reservations about emailing me saying, Mr. Vincent, this isn't working. And I knew something wasn't connecting, because I was getting all these messages that parents were trying to access the catalog. So I'm everywhere trying to do everything. And a parent this morning sent me a snapshot of that, and I knew exactly where the problem was. So again, no reservations. Email me any time of day or night, and we'll respond. So now when you scroll down, now, here, because parents were asking about graduation requirements, we created a wonderful Canva. Ms. Capelli created something to show parents graduation requirements, and it even gets down in here, the minutia, and explains this whole, if you're in the marching band, it can count as a PE credit and all of that. So we put as much information as we possibly could on that, what your child needs to graduate. So it's there for you. Now, go back to the course catalog. I think it's at the top. The link, is it there? No, that's the profile. I don't know about the catalog. Y'all, it was there when I was in my office a minute ago. All right. Now, next here, how to access honors courses. Your students will not select language arts, math, science, those kinds of things. Their grades drive that process. When you look at this, it will let you know how to access honors courses going into 9th grade and through your child's time here at Midtown. It even lists the honors courses that we teach. You'll notice that we don't do a lot of honors courses because we do on-level and AP. So you want to expose yourself to the AP program courses and the criteria and the honors courses, so it will spell that out for you. Again, to replicate information that's already in the AP corner, you don't have to click on it, but all the information about the AP program, the courses that we offer, sample tests, anything, that's where you're going to find the dates for the next exams. When students have summer work, it will be on this particular website. So just familiarize yourself with everything that this site has to offer. You can go back, Ms. Blackett. Yeah, even AP application. Pathway information. Again, that's going to replicate something that's already out there, so you don't have to click on it, but it's going to give you a drop down of all the pathways we offer, what the sequences look like, of course description, that kind of thing. You can keep scrolling. Click the pictures and links. Oh, this is the course catalog. I'm sorry. She's already there. Y'all know I create this stuff and then I think, wow, that's cute. All right. That's right, this is the course catalog. Yeah, again, you can just click on any of the subjects, and again, it'll tell you. Now, some of you who've been familiar with how we schedule at Midtown High School, when I start talking about it counts as a 1, a 0.5, or a 2. How many of you know what I'm talking about? Because you've done this with your children. This is a perfect example. We decided to make the course catalog a little more useful by telling people, again, you can see right on the cuff what the prerequisite is. You don't even have to open up the course and get information to determine prerequisites. It'll tell you anything that is not have the word semester next to it is a year-long class. All of that's going to be spelled out for you in the digital. See? Yeah. Wherever you see semester, that's a semester course. If you don't see semester, it's a year-long class. So we tried to make all of this really useful, even telling you which grades can access the particular elective. So the digital catalog is on this site, and I even got the links in the pathway form. That sample pathway form had a bad link. I've caught all those so that you'll be able to access all this in the pathway form in real time. And even at the bottom of it, your students are going to choose electives as part of the pathway process. Scroll all the way down. Even though the electives are buried or embedded in all those other courses, we decided to add a component where the electives are there for you in one section in alphabetical order. So anything that we considered an elective, you can just go right to it and find that information. So we just want this to be a friendly process to you and not overwhelming. Okay? Yeah, all right. I know, y'all are laughing. Like, we already know this. Man, sit down. We're ready to go over here to this cafeteria. I could go back to the all-in-one, I think, Ms. Pilecki.
Hold tight.
I know, it's a lot.
It is. Here we go.
And you know, all of this is how many of you are from Howard? All of this is the brainchild of Takesha Hollis and Willie Vincent looking crazy around the pandemic. Like, how do we help people get the best? So Ms. Hollis and I were like, this, she's my girl. Okay, scroll down. Now, this is the one that most of you have familiarized yourself with. If you have not, take an opportunity to read this. This will help you understand how we construct schedules. So you will know what to ask for. You will start to count the credits, and this gives you the best chance to get the courses that you really, really want. This is the prelude to what your children will do in high school. Yes, it's a lot of reading, but those of you who have students here at Midtown, you have seen that course request form they have to fill out. It's torture, isn't it? And if it's torture on your side, you ought to see it from my end. That's why I say you can't send me a list, because in some people's minds, you think I got your child's name and a list of my spreadsheet has everything from the child's birthday to the gifted status to the PSAT scores to every course they ever took in 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th grade. And then I average all those grades to get the GPA. It's about 15 billion columns. It is enormous. Everything your child ever tells me about any of those rounds, I keep on a spreadsheet. So at any given point, I can say, well, this is what you told me on March 3rd. Here it is right here, see? Right? So it's important that you read it. Now let me tell you the silly story about the reading, and when Dr. Bachman says you have to let your children do it. Devin is in 9th grade at a basketball game, and I sent out the course request module, and Devin was seated next to Dr. Bachman, and she pushed her computer over and was like, I need you to do it. And Dr. Bachman looked at her like, I need you to figure it out.
Because I had no idea.
Yeah. So you and your children, start practicing reading all this stuff, because it's to give you everything you need to know about the courses, the graduation requirement, alternative courses. We work really hard to give you all the information to help you make the best decisions about your academic journey. Okay, I think that's it. And yeah, so make sure if you've not looked at this, you need to read it, because it's going to help you all the way to graduation. Again, you don't have to click on it. Those same pathway descriptions that are in the course catalogs and everywhere else, those are the same descriptions right there. So if you want to look at a description of engineering or digital design, whatever we offer, it's in that catalog. Now, the sample pathway form, a lot of you have taken advantage of it. I'm going to leave it up until about 12 o'clock tomorrow. Then I'm going to remove it completely and put the real form in that slot, because it will go live at what time? 8 o'clock. I will be in a basketball game at Creekside High School, but at 7:55 I will take out my phone like, all right, open. So I promise you, we will open that form for you tomorrow night. AP Human Geography is one of the AP courses that your students will have access to. If you want to see information about it, it's there. You can continue to scroll. And now one thing I'm going to tell you about the pathway selection form, click on it. Ms. Bullock, I just want to tell you one thing. This drives me crazy. All right, notice this email address. Do not let your student put that school email address in there if they have never accessed their school email. A lot of students put in wmvincent@apsk12.org. That is not an email address. So then you'll email me and say, we didn't get a confirmation. Well, you didn't put in an email address. APS, the student's email address is student.aps. And again, ask your child, if your child has never checked email with the school email, don't put it there. Put your email, put a personal email. That's where the confirmation will go. Now, that's just the big thing. So that's just something to remember. I'm not going to walk through the pathway form, but it's going to ask you about choosing pathways. It's going to ask you about choosing your world language options. It's going to ask you if you're interested in the double math. So students who are enrolled in Algebra 1, high school credit right now in middle school, will have an option of looking at double math that will spell out the criteria for you. We'll ask you if you're interested in AP Human Geography, and if you are, do you want it with or without civics? Everything. If you do go through the sample form, it's going to be exactly like the real form, except the links that are broken are working in the real form. Okay, you can close that, Ms. Pilecki. Yeah. And if you scroll down, this is just some ancillary information for you. For example, make sure that you know how to access Infinite Campus Parent Portal, because it's important to follow your children's attendance and grades. Nightly news, make sure that you've signed up to get the information from the people who produce the nightly news. All the things that go on in the Midtown community will be found in the nightly news. Clubs and activities are a big part. Make sure you encourage your students to be involved in something. I tell all the rising ninth graders, I had a terrible high school experience because I was involved in nothing productive. Read between the lines on that. I was the master of the non-productive. I was hanging with all the people who were going to corrode my life. So I was not interested in school at all. The streets had me. So it was a miserable journey in high school. I hated it. That's why we work so hard here to make sure your children don't have the experience in school that I had. So getting them involved in some clubs and activities is an awesome thing here in Midtown. And this last one here, the registrar and all these people will tell you, when they get to high school, those dummy social security numbers will not work. They're going to cause a problem for Hope eligibility. They're going to cause a problem for Zell Miller. Anything that involves federal, state funding, it's going to be a problem for college admission. So you have to give up the real social security number. So work with your registrar now in the middle school to update that social. If you don't do it there, make sure you do it here. Don't let it happen in senior year, because a whole lot of hiccups will happen for your student if we don't have that real social security number. And I think that's about it with the all-in-one. So just make sure you take advantage of perusing all this invaluable information to help you and your children have an awesome experience here at Midtown. Now let me say one more thing. It's going to ask you for several email addresses. At some point, I need you to make sure your child has an email address. Dr. Bachman said it. I know a lot of us wish that we could have that experience at our children, but it's their experience. We have to let them walk this journey. Now, not alone, we walk it with them. Now, what happens is, some students, again, you'll sit down with them and you'll choose the pathways for them, and they'll email me and want something else. So I'll play along, I'll ride it out, but just know, I'll blind copy you. I will on the response. So, that's why I need everybody's email. I'm not just going to let this child say, you know what, I think I want to drop AP Human, Mr. Vincent, and pick up 3 PE classes. That's okay. I promise you I will blind copy you. So just make sure that we're all working collaboratively to make this an awesome experience for your students. And am I done? All right, cool, beans. Thank you so much. You're awesome.
So a couple of people that I just want to remind you of would be
Miss Head and Miss Roberts. They are our 504 and student support coordinators. So if your student has a 504, or if you are coming from outside and you think they might need one, these are going to be your contact individuals, okay? And I should have added one more person. We now have 2 special ed lead teachers, and that is Miss Chittister Johnson and Miss Chung. So those are going to be the 2 people for your IEP's individualized education plan. Dr. Misty Bryant is our graduation coach who works really hard with our seniors, but she also does 9 through 11 as well, but she is mostly focused on our seniors. And Stephanie Case, learn this name. This is your registrar. This is the person who you will work with to ensure your student is registered. Me. Miss Scott. Miss Scott is our school social worker, and we have 2 school social workers, but Miss Scott is assigned to 9th grade and 11th grade, so she will be the one for 9th grade. Okay, now just a couple of things, just so I can remind you guys again. It is critically important that you do register, okay? Next. All of your students came to, hopefully they came to visit yesterday. And I did hear a few comments that it was a good event. Hopefully they did come home and say that to you. I heard great things from our tour guides when they were talking to the students. They got to see our band, chorus, and orchestra perform, as well as our theater arts. They did just a little snippet of what they did for Rent. their musical that they just finished. And then they got to tour the Midtown campus. So hopefully your students enjoyed that. We enjoyed having them. I'm sure you saw the signs as you were coming in the theater welcoming them to Midtown High School. So it was a great event. We had close to 500, I think, ninth graders extra in our building, where we're already over 1,700. So it was a well-oiled machine. Everybody did great, and I think the kids had a great time. So the pathway selection opens tomorrow at 8 p.m. We do have our clubs and activities. Some clubs and activities did set up in the cafeteria, and we definitely want you to go in there. Please don't just go back to your car, but they would love to see you and express what they're doing with their clubs and activities so that your students can start to get involved. I will also do another plug for Mr. Dryling, who heads up our theater arts department. They are doing what's called Coffee House right next to us in the Black Box Theater, and he said that if you go to the club and activity and you go to the theater arts table, that they'll give you a free pass to get into Coffee House tonight. So if you want to do that, you are welcome too. So I'm going to hand it over to Dr. Bachman to close us out, and we will take some questions if you have them.
One more thing.
Oh.
I forgot.
Notice you got information weeks ago. Going forward, you'll always get as many people as I can early information, because I want you to be able to make sound decisions and not have to do it in 24 hours. Why is that important? Those timestamps really will matter for something critical. And let me just give you a class where I know it becomes critical. We have two engineering pathways. One is traditional engineering, and then the other one is engineering drafting design. I already know that there are 56, about 51 seats available in the first year course as things stand right now, because I know that teacher can only teach 2 of those classes, and they max out at 28 students, and we already have 5 high schoolers who've asked to change their pathways, so they're already on the list. That is an example of where the timestamps will matter. It's early enough in the process, so if your child is outside and winds up on a waiting list, I will email you and say, sorry, this class is full, what do you want me to do in its place? So the timestamps do matter. So that I always tell people now, there's not a real benefit to waiting until the final hour to do this, because you might not get something you want. The principals are already in budget building season. Dr. Bachman's already looking at real numbers to say this is how many classes of something we can offer. I need as much information from you as fast as I can get it to give Dr. Bachman the best information to say we need this many of this. Can you help me out with that? I appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right.
Okay. Wow, that's a lot of anxiety now. I'm worried about it. So everybody needs to calm down. You make me very anxious about that, Mr. Vincent. So some of you, I'm sure, are like, this is your first time having a 9th grader, right? So I've had 5 9th graders, and my last 2 are seniors, as you probably know. And so that's normal, that anxiety about what's going to happen. 8 classes now is a lot for your children to balance. So some of you may have children in private school. You might be at like a different, Howard School, the Howard School, not the Howard School over there, or any of the others, and you're transitioning from a non-traditional environment. So I'll just share a little bit about my family. So my oldest was here till 10th grade, and then she, in 11th and 12th, graduated. She went to Ben Franklin Academy. That was a better fit. My next one, Josh, he actually was here 2 years, and then he got his equivalent, his general education equivalent, high school. And then he went into the Army, and he was in there for 4 years, and he's just gotten out and moved back in with me. For a short time, hopefully. But So non-traditional, but he's fine. Elizabeth's fine. Tomas, middle child, was at Mary Lynn, kindergarten through 3rd grade, and then really had some issue processing. So he went to the speech school for 2 years, Atlanta Speech School, and then he transitioned back to Inman in 6th grade, and that was a great transition. Not a problem there. Trent actually went to Woodward, and then he transitioned back here in 10th grade. And Devin is the only one that has gone K to 12. Besides myself, I was K to 12 in APS. And the other day I was thinking, okay, this is why I have no money for college for Devin and Trent, because I spent it all earlier. But I just say that the kids come here from every place, and they transition very, very well. We have so much support here, social workers, counselors, we have so much here. So your child, if they stumble or falter, we got them, and we work. The best thing is if we work with you. So you might want to say, I don't want to tell them stuff or whatever. I promise you, if you tell us what's going on, we swoop in to help and to support you and to support your child. So, because I've seen that in action here with my own children. So, okay, just a few questions. If it's individual, we don't want to do individual. Mr. Bensner or Ms. Pilecki can do that by email. If you think it's kind of general, happy to answer a few, but we do want to get you over to the cafeteria.
Real quick, I do want to say, just to piggyback off what she was saying, our tour guides that took care of the students who came in from outside of APS, we had 2 groups, and one of the little girls, my beta club, she's not little, she's a senior, but she was telling me, she said, it was really great. And they were from all over, all different schools. And she said, some of the kids, they were exchanging phone numbers so that they could talk to each other. She said, it really was great. She said, they just got along so well. So just to piggyback off what Dr. Bauman said. Okay, just say this.
I have a question. With the button that goes live at 8, so that's pathways, and I heard languages. Do they sign up for all the other electives tomorrow night as well?
Yes.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Mr. Benson touched on this earlier, changing pathways between upper grades and junior. How hard is it to change?
It's not hard at all. So as a freshman, if your student, after they finish that first year, if they're miserable, we don't want them to, that's clearly not what they need to be in. And so when, like he's doing all of the 9 through 11, he's scheduling them right now. So when he does course requests with them, they have the option to say drop, add. That's it. Mm-hmm. They do need to try to finish it out for the first year and then pick it up the second year. You're going to run out of electives. That's what's going to happen. Even though we offer a ton, you're eventually either going to run out or they're going to start conflicting in the periods that they're taught. And regardless, your student is going to probably complete a pathway even if they don't try to. Because foreign language is a pathway. So if they take Latin for 3 years, they've completed that pathway.
Can I add something to that? That is an option that drives me crazy, and I may undo it. And I may undo it after this year, where I do ask, do you want to just forego a pathway and try to choose the electives? Because I know it's impossible, but every year 3 kids do it, and I'm like, ugh. Let me just sort of explain. You're not married to the pathway forever. So if you choose engineering, do it 9th grade, hate it. I'm going to do AP courses going forward. The AP courses become your pathways. They're called the advanced courses pathway. So you're not stuck on it for 3 years. All of you have done electives in high school. When you've not done it for 3 years, just call it an elective. So I did an elective in engineering. I did an elective what else we offer? Career competence, audio, visual. They can take it a year. They can take it 2 years. Then move to advanced courses, world languages. So Yeah, just choose a pathway because it's going to make scheduling a lot easier. You will not get a decent schedule with the electives because I'm going to wind up putting a pathway on there to finish the schedule. And it may be something the child, oh yeah, I'll do it because I'm going to get to 8. I am. It may be something the child doesn't want.
It's not required. No. What we do say to our students regarding pathways is to begin something, whether it's 9th or 10th grade, and to complete it for 3 years when you are applying to college. That shows your interest level in that area. So that can kind of help build your resume when you're applying to colleges.
No, it's not. It's not actually. But what I always do after a few days, I just take every email address I have collected and just say, this is my way of saying I got your stuff. Then in a few weeks, roughly February-ish, I'll send you a copy of exactly what they asked for. So, yeah. Absolutely. And if you don't get it, if you get something, email me and say, wait, I've gotten nothing. Now let me know to add your email to my queue and then send you it out. Allegedly, Google sends it, but when Google gets overwhelmed, Google just does it. So have no reservation asking me within the next day or so. Unless it's an ice day, I'll be in Savannah. Savannah won't be here Monday, man. So, yeah. So if you don't see, just email me. Yeah, I'm accessible by email. Go for it.
Okay, we can address that in a little bit, one-on-one. We'll go through that with you. Yes. No, remember I gave you the registration dates. Your registration dates aren't until March if you're within the feeder in an APS school. If you're outside, it starts at the end of May into June. But you need to do it. Yes.
Is registration online or we have to come to
It has been online, and that is what we expect for the upcoming year. Yes, ma'am. Sometimes 2. I'd say the bulk would be maybe 2. But again, as freshmen, we also like to try to get them going on their foreign language. We also like to health and PE. We try to, help them knock that out, just so that their schedule then begins to open up as they matriculate. But nothing is required. They do. No.
For foreign language, is it a 3-year requirement and does ASL count?
ASL does, and the requirement, the state requirement is 2 full years of the same language. Now, we offer Spanish, French, Latin, sign language, and we offer at minimal 3 years of each of those. We do suggest students continue beyond the 2 years. It's important when they are looking at post-secondary options. The more competitive schools, even UGA, even though they've met the state requirement, it looks better because we offer so many different levels.
The 2 years is required to graduate, 3 years
Correct.
recommended for college.
Correct.
So you offer
Or
3
more.
Oh, more, okay, and then you offer 3 years plus each of those things.
Yeah, sign language is 3, and then we offer beyond in Latin, Spanish, and French.
Thank you.
Yes, in the back.
So we've done practice corner. If our child does a second pathway,
Signing up for 2. Yes. Ms. Babb?
Yeah, I have a question. In the course catalog, does it specify which courses are available for summer? I understood they could take some of them, knock some of them out in the summer school.
So the only thing that students can take during the summer through Atlanta Virtual Academy is going to be health, general health,
Okay.
personal fitness, and general physical education. You're welcome.
And is that at set time or is that?
That is virtual, self-paced and
Self-paced.
self-guided, and they'll have 7 weeks. The other thing that will come out as well is the SIMSI program, which is the Science and Math Summer Academy, which is a face-to-face. And they can, if they're currently, let's say, in Algebra 1, and they want to take geometry, that is an option. Yes. Yes. The summer before their freshman year, those hours will count. Just log them or keep them somewhere.
So if you're an 8th grade now in Algebra 1, you take geometry this summer prior to that grade?
If you sign up, SIMSI,
Sims, S-I-M.
SMSEA, and that is through Atlanta Public Schools. It's a face-to-face, and you should talk to your 8th grade counselor. Oh, in the back. For the summer session has not come out yet. You need to check with your 8th grade counselor.
Quick question. So we have 8 classes, right?
Yes.
What's the composition usually? Like a couple of APs, a couple of
No, there's only typically one AP.
AP, couple of,
So you're going to have a language arts, a math, a science, a social studies, hopefully a foreign language. That's 5. And then a couple of pathways, perhaps, and a PE personal fitness. Not for freshmen, no ma'am. For debate, you don't have to start debate with speech and debate. I believe you can join debate, but for newspaper, I do believe you have to have the journalism course. Nobody else? Yes. In the summer. The general PE through ABA can, yes. No honors option, and it's American Government Civics, and it's semester long. And that is the graduation requirement. Correct. In the back? Mhm. No, and I will say that if your child does not take civics as a freshman and takes AP Human, and later down the road they want, that is kind of their desire is in that area, and they want to take the AP Government and Politics, yes, that will count for that semester of civics that they didn't take as a freshman, okay? You can still take the AP Government and Politics, yes.
I've set up the form that you can't ask for 4. You can only ask for 3 maximum. So we don't do the backups because that just gets to be too confusing. What we've learned to do now at midtime is ask for exactly what you want And again, if there's a problem with something you've asked for, I'll email you directly and let you work through a choice. I used to give alternates for all kind of stuff, and it would drive me to want alcohol. I'm just joking. So yeah, we just ask for what we want, and then we can just make the best decisions going forward. But it will only, now those of you who've done it, you can only choose up to 3, right?
That means you are signed up for 3 pathways, right?
Yeah.
Recommended
No, go. If you want to go for 3, go for it. I'm going to show you how 3 works out for some kids. They take ELA, math, AP Human, biology, Latin, audio, engineering, graphic design. Perfect schedule. So they don't have PE, but that's fine. They can take PE later. So you can really have a great schedule if you choose the right. Hey, 3 will rock. It really, really will.
So that's not backup. The 3 is you're choosing 3.
Yes. Yep. Choose only what you really want.
Yes. No, I wouldn't do that. I was just simply saying that they could complete a pathway by doing Spanish for 3 years.
I'll email you. Yes.
Yes. I would recommend that you email the band director, Mr. Williams, Carlton Williams, carlton.williams@apsk12.org.
It might be here. I think it might.
Oh, he might be in the cafeteria.
Yeah, he is.
I think he is actually.
No, because we run out of seat. You can explain. This is a quick explanation.
We really, no. And we say no because, again, as I said earlier, the amount of students that we have as freshmen. Now, a lot of them, yes, have already had 1 year, but those that didn't take a year in middle school, they have to have that year of beginner. And so for us to have seats available for students who need the 2 years, we just cannot double dip in our language. Right, but if they use that to get out of foreign language, they're also not going to meet the requirements for, it's more for a technical school, it's not going to be for University of Georgia. No, we have a ton of school buses. So but what I will tell you is if you reside within 1.5 miles, there is not bus transportation, but that's not Midtown, that's APS. So that may be it.
Your child's
Telephone
just
game.
trying not to come to school.
That's right. Yes.
Marching band and being involved in sports counts as your PE credits, right?
Okay. So it will cover general PE. Okay. So if they are in the marching band for 2 years, or if they are in a varsity sport for 2 years, that only covers 1 semester of the health and PE requirement. So the health and PD graduation requirement, and again, that's going to be on the Rising Nights. If you click on graduation requirements, that information is there. But the graduation requirement is health, a semester of health, a semester of personal fitness, the actual course, personal fitness, and then general PE. The PE can be waived if you do a varsity sport for 2 years and or marching band.
Only varsity.
Correct.
Ah.
Not JV,
Not
varsity.
JV, okay. And then tryouts for fall or winter sports would be in the summer, or would it be after school sports?
Typically, a lot of that takes place over the summer, but I would suggest that you go to the Midtown website and go to the athletics link. And any questions, we've got 2 athletic directors.
Okay, and then my last one is tryouts for like chorus or band, that might be other tryouts for that, we do that in the summer.
For the first year, there's typically not tryouts. Well, for band, that can, but chorus typically no.
So you can just sign up for it.
Yes.
Yeah, and if you're already in the program, your orchestra teacher at Howard has already told Ms. Davis this child's playing level is X.
Well, we were in the
Okay.
program, and we're not in the program now, because we're
Gotcha,
in the
yeah,
program.
just-
Now we're trying to get back in the program.
Gotcha.
You want to do
yes.
something?
Yeah, talk to the teacher there so they can communicate that to Ms. Davis.
Well, they're not in the class right now, so
Okay.
we don't have a teacher.
Gotcha.
I just email the teacher.
Yep, yes, Mr. Hill has already gotten information about chorus from Howard. He's already sent me what he has.
What's his email address?
He's saying email the chorus teacher at your middle school. I would do that, right?
Yes, because they can tell.
Yeah, he's not very friendly. So I can email Mr. Hill?
Yeah, Mr. Hill, that's
Yeah,
fine.
you can do
Well, send it. You can always email me, and I'll get you to where you need to go. You all can find me. So I'll get you. Send it to me, and we'll get it from you.
Cool.
All right, guys, we want to get you over to the cafeteria. I am going to answer the pathways question if you'll hold tight. I do want to talk with you. Okay? Have a great night. Thanks for coming, guys.